Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and get right to the heart of what really works in trading. We're breaking down the 3 specific behaviors that, again and again, separate the profitable traders from, well, everyone else.
So let's just start with the million-dollar question, right? The one that hangs over this entire world. Why do so many people who get into trading end up losing money? I'll tell you right now, the answer probably isn't what you think. You hear the excuses all the time. Oh, the market's rigged. Or, you need to be a genius to do this. But honestly, that's just a way to avoid looking at the real problem. The source material is super clear about this. It's not about the market, and it's not about your IQ.
And here it is. It's that simple and that hard. The real difference maker isn't some secret indicator or a $1,000 course. It all comes down to your behavior. The path to making money in the markets is paved with these 3 repeatable, disciplined actions. If you can master these, the profits really do start to take care of themselves.
Okay, let's dive into the first one. We're calling it Ruthless Selectivity. And this one is going to completely flip your idea of what a trader is supposed to be doing all day. I love this analogy because it's just so perfect. Think about it. Are you a machine gunner? Just spraying bullets everywhere, hoping something hits, taking dozens of kind of meh trades? Or are you a sniper? Patient, waiting, taking that one perfect, well-aimed shot. That's what being selective is all about. This quote right here, this just flips the whole script, doesn't it? So many people think their job is to be constantly clicking buttons, to always be in a trade. But the pros? They know their real job is getting paid to wait. They sit on their hands, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days, until the market gives them an opportunity that is so good it feels like a mistake not to take it. And look, this isn't about some vague gut feeling. Being selective means you have a crystal clear, non-negotiable checklist for what your perfect A+ setup looks like, and you wait until every single box on that checklist is ticked. Not most of them, not close enough, all of them. That's how you put the odds on your side.
All right, on to behavior number 2, sizing mastery. And let me tell you, this is the one that determines whether you even get to stay in the game long enough for your selectivity to pay off. Honestly, if you only remember one thing from this explainer, it should probably be this.
1 to 2%. That's the number. For professionals, this is like a law of physics. It's the absolute max percentage of their total account they will ever risk on a single trade. New traders think this is way too small, way too slow, but the pros know this is the secret to staying alive. And if you're wondering why that tiny number is so critical, well, the math doesn't lie. Look, if you risk 1%, you'd have to lose 100 times in a row to blow up your account. That's basically a statistical impossibility. But if you risk 10%, you only need 10 bad trades in a row to be completely wiped out. And that's not just possible for a lot of people, it's pretty much inevitable. So how do you actually do this? Well, the great thing is there's a simple formula that takes all the emotion and all the guesswork out of it. Step 1, figure out your risk amount in dollars. That's your 1%. Step 2, know exactly where you're going to get out if you're wrong, your stop loss. Step 3, you just do the math. No feelings, no hunches, just cold, hard, disciplined math.
This isn't just about protecting your money. It's about protecting your mind. When you know that any single loss is just a tiny expected cost of doing business, it doesn't send you into a panic. You stay calm, you think clearly, you stick to your plan. But when you risk too much, every little price tick is pure agony, and you are pretty much guaranteed to make a bad, emotional decision.
Okay, on to our third and final behavior, relentless documentation. And this is the one, let's be real, this is the one that everybody skips. They think it's boring, they think it's tedious, but the sources are so clear on this. This is where the real learning happens.
And wow, this quote really puts it bluntly, doesn't it? But it's true. If you're not writing down what you're doing and why, you're not learning from your mistakes or your successes. You're just pulling the lever on the slot machine over and over again, hoping for a different result. Documenting your trades turns gambling into a science.
And we're not just talking about writing down your P&L, okay? A real trade journal goes so much deeper. It's like a mirror. You got to record the whole context. What was the setup? Why'd you get in? Why'd you get out? How were you feeling? Were you anxious? Were you greedy? It's this detailed data that starts to show you the hidden patterns in your own trading. This is the question a good journal forces you to answer, because the data doesn't lie. It'll stare right back at you and show you, hey, you lose money every single time you trade on a Friday afternoon. Or you always give back your profits when you try to fight the trend. It makes you confront the uncomfortable truths about your own behavior. And here's the magic. What starts out feeling like a chore, like homework, it slowly transforms into the most valuable tool you have. It becomes your personal playbook, an edge that's built not on some guru's strategy, but on cold, hard data about you. That's how you build an edge that actually lasts. So, there you have it. The 3 behaviors: selectivity, sizing, and documentation. Seems simple enough, right? Well, this is where we get to the final and maybe the most important part: the massive difference between knowing something and actually doing it.
Because look, knowing you should be patient, that's easy. Actually sitting on your hands for 6 hours while the market chops around, that's hard. Knowing you should only risk 1%, easy. Actually putting on that small trade when you feel like you found the trade of the year, that's really hard. And that gap, right there between knowing and doing, that's where most traders live and die.
And this is where the source just gets brutally honest. It basically throws down a challenge. It says that the huge majority of people who see this, who hear this, they're going to nod their heads and say, yep, that makes total sense. And then tomorrow, they're going to go right back to their old habits. They'll keep overtrading, keep risking too much, and keep learning absolutely nothing. And that's really where we have to leave it. This final question kind of reframes everything we've talked about. The effectiveness of these 3 behaviors, that's not really up for debate. They work. The only question mark, the only variable in the entire equation is you. So the challenge isn't to go find more information. The challenge is execution. The only question left is, will you do the work?